Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for being here for our monthly Goleta Wrap meeting. We really appreciate you taking some time just to talk about homelessness issues in Goleta. Since I see a couple of new faces, it'd be great if you all wouldn't mind introducing yourself in the chat window, just so we know who everyone is representing. And we're going to start with just a few general announcements. Well, I should introduce myself. I'm Landon Rank, he, him. I'm the Associate Director with SB Act. And I'm here working with Chuck Flex in the city of Goleta. Chuck, if you want to introduce yourself.
I think I know everybody pretty much.
Great.
So I'm the homeless services coordinator for the city of Goleta.
And then we're grateful to have Mayor Perotti with us as well.
Hi, everyone.
So just a couple of general announcements as we get started. I wanted to start with just a shout out because actually this is our first Goleta Wrap meeting that we've had with the community since the point in time count. So I wanted to say thanks to everyone who came out. We had, I think, close to 35 volunteers in the city of Goleta this year, had really good coverage and appreciated everybody that was able to make it. We should be seeing the results in the next maybe month or two. Usually takes until about late March or sometimes early April before we get all the findings. So we'll be sure and have a report back to you when we have those. We will be talking about this when we do check-ins with our outreach providers today, but there's been a lot of rain, obviously. And so our outreach providers have been working some extra hours and some of the weekends before the rains to try and get the word out to people about the warming centers or the additional beds that were open at PATH. So just wanted to acknowledge that and say we appreciate all of our outreach providers and all that you do to try and help everyone stay safe during the rains. I know last week, so about a week ago when they had the warming center open for the last time, they actually were so full they had to turn away about 20 people at the South County warming center. So there's clearly a need. Yeah, so we appreciate everybody that was able to help out with those efforts. And then I wanted to note, coming up on March 11th, SBAC is going to be hosting our quarterly sort of South County open meeting to talk about homelessness issues. We're going to be pretty action focused this time because there's quite a bit that community members can participate in right now, thanks to a lot of new opportunities that have opened up in our community. So we encourage you, if you're able to join us in person, we'll be meeting at Trinity Episcopal Church on State Street in Santa Barbara. And I'll have an RSVP link later this week. I don't have it yet, so we'll share that out to you all. But please come join us if you're interested, just to learn more about how you can get involved with homelessness issues and just to get an update about everything that's going on throughout the region. And so then that meeting will be on the 11th, and then our next Goleta Wrap meeting for community concerns will be on the 25th of March. So those are the broad announcements. So we have a couple of agenda items to talk through today before we just do general updates. So why don't we start? I don't see anyone from the county on the call, but I don't know, Kirsten, are you able to provide an update about Buena Tierra?
I don't have too much of an update on it, other than that folks are moving in. We started, I know, moving folks in on Friday. Thursday, oops, sorry, my camera's being weird. Thursday and Friday of last week, and there's more folks moving in today. So that's exciting, and we know it's open, and folks from Hedges have been, we rented a U-Haul and have been helping move them over last week and today. So things are definitely in movement, and it's super exciting because it also frees up beds, obviously, at Hedges and gives us an opportunity to bring new folks in, which is exactly what we want to see, is some sort of flow. So a lot of people very excited about the opportunity of Buena Tierra and having their own space. So that's, I don't know the update as far as like how many people have moved in, and I know that it's a staggered move in, that not everybody, Chuck probably knows way better than I do. I've just been dealing with my staff and trying to help them get folks in there and moved over logistically. So
Thanks, Kirsten. Yeah, so our understanding is that the next waves of people moving in will be later in March, towards the end of the month. So exciting news. Like Kirsten said, it's opening up a lot of beds throughout our community and helping people move into their permanent homes. So there's been some conversation you may have seen in the news related to overnight parking ordinances in the city of Goleta. And so I just wanted to give Chuck just a moment, or the mayor, to talk about that and how it connects to homelessness. It's not homelessness specific, but it ends up touching on some homelessness issues.
Yeah, it's probably best not for the mayor to comment at this point.
It hasn't come to us yet, so
So
thank you, Chuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not yet a public document. So basically what I'll say is that new parking restrictions are being proposed to manage concerns by residents and business owners for large vehicle parking, particularly on Pacific Oaks Road and Phelps Road. There will be new parking restrictions placed if the council approves it. That will be brought to council. We're shooting for March 5th. And when the documents become public, Goleta is really good about getting the announcement out to people that they can look at the proposal and make public comment or contact their elected representatives. So at this stage, it's preliminary. It's not directed in any way at an issue about homelessness. It's strictly a large vehicle ordinance, which is similar to what has been passed in other jurisdictions. And in this case, it's not citywide. It's focused on 2 streets that have been heavily impacted by large vehicles, and not just recreational vehicles, but commercial vehicles as well.
Thank you, Chuck. So that's something that'll be before city council later, but any questions in this moment? And then relating to other populations that are experiencing homelessness, I wanted to talk a little bit about youth experiencing homelessness. We have a couple of staff from the YMCA Youth and Family Services program on the call, and I wanted to give them a chance to just share about their new work in Isla Vista and Goleta. So I don't know, Brittany or Danielle, if one of you would be willing to share.
Hi, this is Danielle with Channel Islands YMCA. And yes, we just started doing drop-in hours at the St. George Youth Center in Isla Vista. So clients can go there and get basic needs. It is an access point, so clients can get into the coordinated entry system through there. And so from 9 to 1 is when clients can go get those services. And then from 1 to 5, the staff are doing outreach within the Isla Vista Goleta area. I don't know the exact routes that we're going down, but I just know that we're spreading our services over there, and we're hoping to identify a lot of young adults who could use our services. And if any of you know anyone who is closer to that area, you can direct them to the St. George Youth Center on Thursdays and Fridays.
And Danielle, will you talk a little bit about the age range as well, just so people know what population?
Yes, so we serve ages 18 to 24. We can start working with 17-year-olds in some cases to get them document ready, but they wouldn't be able to like sign a lease or apply for housing until they were 18. But we do focus on 18 to 24.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Me too. Thanks.
I just want to add on
go
that
ahead, Chuck.
topic. I got the opportunity to tour a new group home for homeless teens, and hopefully Daniela and Brittany know about this project. It's in Goleta. I'm not going to give the address out publicly, but it's a group home with a resident assistant who lives on site. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's 7 youth I've moved in there. 18 to 25-year-olds, and it's pretty exciting. It's permanent supportive housing for youth clients, and I've made a personal. I have a side role. It's not really active at the moment, but I do career coaching and life coaching, and I'm actually going to work with the residents on getting them all employed because I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be employed. So that's going to be one of my personal moves.
That's awesome, Chuck. I did not know that you were helping with that part of it. Is this the YHDP housing?
Yes.
Okay, yes. I was under the impression that it was transitional housing, but
You know, I say permanent, I shouldn't say permanent. It's 2 year, it's up to 2 years. So you're
they
right.
will,
It is transitional.
yeah, but they will help the clients with identifying permanent housing. So that is like there too. And then, yeah, they're supposed to have supportive services like employment, independent living skills. So that's really awesome. Something else exciting. We're referring clients there, but we're not doing the case management or the housing navigation. And then there will be another one opening up on the west side of Santa Barbara. Those are going to be the two new transitional housings for 18 to 24.
That's
And
exactly right. It's Turner
yeah.
Foundation, just another provider in our mix, which is great.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
Mayor Perotti.
That I just want to say great news. That's really fantastic news. As far as Buena Tierra, can someone refresh my memory on how many youth will be able to get permanent housing there?
I believe it's 15 units for transitional aged youth.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any questions for Danielle or Chuck with regard to youth? All right, so then I wanted to move us on. Before we do just general check-ins with some of our outreach, I wanted to have Chuck talk a little bit about the encampment removal in the Los Caneros region.
So you caught me flat-footed. I believe I know. Okay, so I can say what it is. So the Los Caneros, it's the Los Caneros on-ramp at the 101. There's an encampment there currently. Caltrans is going to be doing a removal of the encampment itself. I believe they're working with law enforcement on moving people along. And I believe and this is where I'm a little bit flat-footed. I believe it's scheduled for next week. Landon, does that jibe with what you have?
Let me pull it up. All I have on the agenda is rescheduled, but I
Because
remember
it was
I'll pull
originally
up the email
scheduled for
thread.
when the storm was happening, and they decided not to do that during the heavy rain. And so I'm pretty sure it's next week that they're proposing to do that.
Yes, the week of March 4th. You're correct.
And the good news, I'm gonna make this a more general comment, Landon. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Let me make you a co-host and then you
Okay.
can. All right, you should be able to now.
Yeah. Can people see my screen? I'm not going to hover over the dots because it reveals private information. But these are the active encampments, and you can see the Goleta boundary. You can see my cursor. Are people able to see this?
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to kind of give a general update on our encampment program. There's good news and bad news here, which is often the case with homeless services. The bad news is that most of the encampments that had been cleared at the beginning of last year are back along the railroad tracks and along the 101. That's the bad news. The good news is that in almost every case, in fact, in every case that you see a blue dot, we know who the folks are. We know to some extent what their needs are, and we're making regular communication and contact with them. So it's great news in the sense that in many cases, we're looking to the La Posada project the La Posada, for people who don't know, is 80 units of transitional shelter on Hollister. We're hoping to move people to that project. We're hoping to move people into Hedges. And we just continue to do outreach and support for folks to try to get them into permanent housing. So what you see is a work in progress, and we really are tracking this in real time. So that's really the good news. And as Lyndon pointed out with the Los Caneros project, or Los Caneros encampment, that's just one example of an area where we know that there's a problem. Another, and I'm not going to put David Rackford on the spot. He doesn't necessarily have to speak to this, but another encampment that we're working on with the Homeowners Association off of Patterson is another spot that we're working with Union Pacific and with the county to get those residents relocated. We we believe that some of the folks may have actually left, and now it's a matter of cleaning up the debris that's been left behind. But it's not, when it's on city property, the city can take care of it. When it's not, then we have to work with the property owners and the other agencies that have responsibility for that area. And I know that's not a great customer service response, but we are working on it, to try to get to get things cleaned up.
Thank you, Chuck. So I think that's a good segue to, we're just going to hear from the outreach agencies that are going out to the different encampments
And
throughout
I
the
don't know if
region.
there's anybody here other than Cora.
I see maybe Kirsten can share a broad update. I texted Al as well, so I'm hoping he'll jump on here. But yeah, if we can, we'll just start with Cora with the safe parking program.
Hello, everybody. So we are very happy to report that our outreach team is growing. So we are going to be able to make much more frequent visits out in Goleta. I'm really excited about that. And that's about the only update I have.
So that's a new contract. This is for the mayor may not know about this because we were able to use more of my budget and keep it below the council level, where we've expanded the outreach efforts for safe parking. And the goal is I don't even think we filled up all the spots for safe parking. So the goal is really to get people into the safe parking program, to get them enrolled, to get them the services they need. And this is beefing up Cora and Deborah's time and possibly even adding some staff resources to that. So that'll go through the end of the year. We're looking at expanding significantly safe parking and creating a hub for safe parking in Goleta. We've applied with the county for significant funding through the state, which would just be amazing. I don't know if you noticed all the blue dots on my map, those are our vehicles. And so we're really want to make sure that we're connecting regularly and effectively with all the different people living in vehicles. So thank you, Cora.
No, I'm not. Absolutely. We're very excited. We are excited that our team is growing. So we're going to be much more effective.
And we appreciate all these efforts, the collaborative efforts with the city and the county as well, because we know this population in particular is one of the fastest growing throughout the state, people who are sleeping in their vehicles. And so I think many of us who live in the area have seen this anecdotally, and I think we recognize that need for more resources. So I'm grateful to see that happen.
And I don't want to put Kirsten on the spot because she's really not overseeing outreach for Good Sam directly. I am overseeing outreach in Goleta for the different teams, and and Kirsten, feel free to correct me if I get anything wrong. But there are essentially the city of Goleta contracts directly with CityNet, and CityNet continues its outreach. Everybody has been excited and very busy getting people into Buena Tierra. So that's where we have a lot of activity this past month, is getting people geared up and moving into Buena Tierra. In addition, the outreach teams have overseen clients that have gone into Hedges. So the Hedges staff and the outreach staff for CityNet have been involved in getting people to move from Hedges into Buena Tierra. And then we have 4 beds reserved at Hedges that we're working with the Hedges team to fill. I think 3 of them have been filled. And Hedges should have quite a few vacancies as Buena Tierra, fully open. So we're going to see in the next month, hopefully quite a bit of movement from encampments and the street to Hedges, and then when La Posada opens up. So that's the city of Goleta team. I know that's been their primary focus. There is an ARPA team that works in Goleta, and there's also a Surf 1 and a Surf 2 team. These are overseen by the county. The Surf 1 team is CityNet.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And then Surf 2 is Good Samaritan. Al's here. I don't know. Al, he's still connecting. Al, I don't know if you wanted to give an update on kind of what the CityNet is doing in Goleta.
Yes, I could give a quick update of everything we have this week. Alan is out sick today, so that's why I was were able to get. And then I didn't receive a new invite, so I was on the meeting at 10 o'clock, thinking we had the 10 o'clock.
I'm sorry, Al.
But last
I'll look
week
at the
we
calendar.
had 2 move-ins. Yeah, so last week was an exciting week. We had 2 move-ins to Buena Tierra, which is extremely amazing. We fulcrumed the stretch of tracks from Elwood Station to Road Elwood School. Outreach to the area of the tracks, but our usual outreach on Old Town in that stretch, and assisted our surf team with Creekside check-ins.
Now we're kind of losing your audio.
Because we didn't have the Goleta meeting last week due to the holiday, I can let you know that our and the tracks off. Okay, hold on. It's horrible service. Can you guys hear me better now?
A little bit.
Hello?
It's kind of off and on.
There you go.
Can you?
No.
No, it's kind of breaking up again.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Let's,
it's
maybe
all
we
good,
can
Al.
move to Kirsten. Did you want to add anything on the Good Samaritan outreach?
I was just gonna pretty much kind of go with what you were saying. Our Serve 2 team, and I do oversee the outreach team. So if you guys ever do
Okay, great.
like questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to me as well. But our surf team is in the waterways area, so wherever there's obviously like creeks and rivers is where they have been. They've been focusing a lot, obviously, on helping with the moves to Buena Tierra. The Surf 2 team is a multidisciplinary outreach team, so they usually are out in a really big group because they have the substance use coordinators with them, the mental health providers with them, housing navigators with them, and then a nurse in outreach. They've been also seeing medical needs that they've been able to tend to on site in encampments and things like that. And they actually follow the team. If they were to put a client into hedges, for instance, they follow them through all the way to housing. So they actually don't stop serving them when they go into shelter. So because of that reason, there were a few clients that they also assisted in the moving onto permanent housing last week, which is super exciting at Buena Tierra. So, and then also our ARPA team is in more of the general areas in Isla Vista and some of the regular like city outlying areas of Goleta. So if you guys have any needs or anything like that, you can reach out. Usually Anais is on here and to give that update, but she's in Lompoc doing outreach today.
Thank you, Kirsten. And then Al, looks like you unmuted. Were you trying to share again?
No, well, I was pretty much done. The only other thing I wanted to guys let you know that we were able to make it to the Goleta Amtrak area, also Los Caneros and Ario Camino twice. We also checked out San Jose Creek in Dearborn. We responded to 4 service requests, got 2 more clients document ready, and submitted 1 referral to MDT. We do have 2 more referrals coming up for shelter that we need to place them onto the CES list. So we got those individuals that are interested in going into shelter. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Al.
Is there anything? I do have to jump off here in a minute because I have a 12:30 meeting. But yeah, if you could send me that updated one, Landon, unless this is just a one time for 12 o'clock, that'd be great. Because like I said, I was on there at 10 o'clock, and then thank you for texting me back, but then I wasn't exactly sure if today was the first day for 12 o'clock. Go ahead, Chuck.
I was going to actually ask Kirsten a question. I'll go ahead. So Kirsten, I heard from Deputy Roush, he may not have audio. He wanted to know, is there a on-site contact number for Buena Tierra that we can share with law enforcement?
There is, because we have case management on site, but I don't have that number. So let me get it for you.
Great.
Can I send it to you, Chuck? And then
You could send it to me and I'll
forward it on to
share
everyone else?
with law enforcement. That's great.
Yeah, I
That's
will
perfect.
ask. It's our housing department that's running that piece of it, so it's not me. But I will
And
get
an
it. I will send
after hours number is probably important too. So
after hours.
that's great.
Yep. I'll
Thank
get
you,
it.
Thank you, Deputy Roush.
I was actually just going to turn to Deputy Roush and ask if you had any updates you wanted to share. I don't know if you have audio.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't have any updates. I think the biggest one we're still working on is the Equal connector that is going to be posted or is now posted because it will be a construction site here next week. I believe they break ground and start cutting trees down. So we're just trying to work on that and make sure that those individuals have left that area prior. The other large camp that we're working on is the one in basically at the dead end of it's between the 217 and the Patterson off ramp southbound. There's a large camp there practically at the end of Dearborn, but the only way to access it is from the railroad tracks or down the side of the 217. We tracked some stolen bicycles there that had GPS trackers on them, and then ended up finding 15 stolen electric bicycles in that camp. And the individuals admitted to stealing those bicycles, and they're basically just parting them out. But it's a massive camp down there with numerous individuals. They have live cats that are living in there, a litter of kittens, and other things. It was completely covered in mud. So we were able to recover numerous bicycles, and we're in the process of returning those. But I believe that's on Caltrans property because it's kind of on the side of the 217, but it may be public. But we've been getting a lot of complaints from Dearborn residents to that area. So just we got that marked on Fulcrum. I think there's been a few site visits there, but nobody's accepted any kind of resources. And I don't think any planned cleanup has been put on the books yet.
So in regards to cleanup, I know that Lucille is working with you, PRR, and their flag teams to do a Carpinteria to Goleta cleanup, I believe it's either I think mid-March is when they're planning on doing that. And we'll keep you posted on that, Deputy Roush, in terms of the timing. Lucille can give us more details on, when she's here.
Hey, real quick before Deputy Roush steps out, I don't know if everybody knows, but he's going to be leaving us. So I just want to give a big thank you. And George Thompson's not here to speak up, but you've helped us so much. I just want to really say thank you for all that you've done. It's you go above and beyond and helping us. So, and I wish you the best. So just want everybody to know this may be his last meeting.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been awesome working with you guys as well. Next week will be my last meeting. And I'll have my replacement picked. I think they're picking this afternoon. They should announce it. And then the new replacement I'll be training next week. So hopefully they will be on the call with me and I can do the old proper handoff. But thank you all.
Yeah, thank you for all you've done, Deputy Roush. We were very lucky to be able to collaborate with you. All the great work you're doing, the connections. A lot of people out there in the population had, hesitancy when they see, organizations work, alongside with sheriffs, but because we love your heart. You really, you made them feel cared about, understood. You know what I mean? You had to do your job and definitely stand well in that line. But just the empathy that you showed, I think they got to see behind the badge along with us. And so thank you. We hope your replacement, has that same love and empathy for our population. And we're very grateful for you.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, and the replacement will be great, I'm sure.
Awesome.
Can
Well, have a great day, everyone.
Can I just ask Deputy Rout a quick question? So you said that these people with the stolen bicycles had admitted that they had stolen the bicycles. So I know this isn't exactly pertinent to this call, but what happens in this day and age to people who steal bicycles, especially expensive bicycles like that?
Yeah, so it still falls under theft under the California Penal Code. So under $950, if we can identify a victim and it's under $950, it's a misdemeanor. If it's above the $950 limit, it's a felony theft. The hard thing though is identifying victims. We need somebody to say that, yeah, that is my stolen bicycle. And I'd say probably 90% of the bicycles these days are not registered and people don't know the serial numbers to their bikes. So they say, yeah, my bike got stolen. It's a green bike. then that's all they know. They don't know what the make and model is or the serial number, so trying to connect those is hard. So though they admitted that they were stolen, we don't have victims for most of them at this time. So once we start getting some victims together, we can start putting a case together and connecting those, and then send it up to the district attorney for review.
Thank you.
Parody.
Yeah, I just want to thank Deputy Rouse. I want to echo what others have said. We are especially going to miss him and our such lively council meetings he has to sit through on Tuesday nights. So, and he always looks interested. You do. So thank you for your service and thank you. We're going to miss you, but you're going to be somewhere over us checking everything out and keeping us safe.
Thanks,
So,
Mayor.
yeah, thanks.
Well, we'll miss you, Deputy Roush. So I think those are all the main check-ins, unless Chuck, you had anything else general you wanted to talk about with regard to regions. Otherwise, we'll open it up for community members. All right, yeah, so we'll go ahead and just open it up if anyone has any concerns or questions they want to share from the community. Not seeing any. So if there isn't anything to share, we can end the meeting early, but
Well, and just to allay
go ahead.
confusion on people's part, so we have a 9 o'clock wrap meeting regularly with typically with providers and other stakeholders that is open to the public if people are interested. And but this is the primary community meeting that SB Act organizes, and we try to get as many community members to participate as possible. I know you all have a pretty large mailing list that you share this out with, and maybe this is good news. Maybe it means people are not too concerned as much as they had been in the past. But we'll continue to meet monthly in these community meetings and invite people to attend. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we appreciate you all being here. All right. With that, we'll close, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.